Hello gamers, and welcome back to some more WARNO content on my channel. The Murak update has arrived, the Milestone, and there are two new divisions, the 2nd Panzergrenadier-Division, that's the West German division, and the East German 4th Motorisierte Schützendivision. So let's take a look at them. There's quite some new stuff like parachuters, and for everyone there have been anti-tank teams introduced. Fastest plane is now 20% slower. Obviously everything is subject to change. There will be massive price overhauls as well to better reflect the combat capabilities. Everything is obviously work in progress. So let's take a look at the stuff we get here. It's a Panzergrenadier-Division, and Panzergrenadiers are supposed to support tanks and come in armored vehicles to keep up with the tanks. Usually you get normal logistics activation slots, decent infantry, very decent artillery activation slots. Tank slots not that great, it's not a tank division after all. Recon looks juicy, helicopters really poor when it comes to the activation points and also to the actual helicopters actually. And then you get some nice airplane options, including some new airplanes. So let's go through the new units. It's always really cool that you can see at the bottom right in which division you get the units. It's not like that in Steel Division 2, unfortunately. I wish it was. You can only check it in the armory, but not while building your deck. So yeah, you get the Sultan command vehicle. It's Belgian, so there are quite a few Belgian troops actually in this division. So here you can see all the lighting, and here you can see the Belgian flag, already a bit worn out. Yeah, that's basically a command vehicle. Pretty much the same speed on roads and off-road. It's slightly armored. The Sultan, you get 3 of them because they cost 100 points. Same price as these guys, they are unarmored though and much faster. And then you get the Fuchsführer, which is already known from the 5th Panzer Division. Yeah, and then you get a supply helicopter. It's the first supply helicopter you get for a Western German division. It says Heer, so it's actually a Heeresflieger, it's not Luftwaffe. You know, the naval forces and also the Heer, they also have some supplementing, air units. And pretty much like the Luftwaffe has like some infantry and stuff. Yeah, really nice looking, huge helicopter. It comes with 2000 supply, so pretty much a bit more like the MAN truck. Availability is the same. But you get obviously the flying capabilities, and you get a higher price for them as well. But it can be really helpful. Infantry, some stuff is new here as well. This is the new anti-tank crew, and it comes for the 5th Panzer Division as well. So I think this can be really helpful against BMPs. And one new key feature, just making sure I don't miss anything out, is starting here. You can see it with there's some Jägers. I like that obviously, because I'm a Jäger. And you get some really good Fallschirmjäger options now. So first of all, you get an anti-tank crew that comes with Milan in the ILTIS, or you can bring them in a helicopter as well. The helicopter is not really that capable of fighting. It's got this, side MG here and here, so it might actually shoot forward, but I don't think so. I would have to try it out again. I can't recall. I've played this division already. Yeah, so you can bring in some AT troops here. There we go. And the range is really good, much better than with the, let's compare them quickly. Much better than, oh, there's a Milan troop here as well, so you can get a normal Milan troop as well with better availability because it's not a parachuter. And where was it here? The M40A1. You can see the range is really poor in comparison as well as the accuracy, but you know, cheap defensive lines, deep defenses, maybe 2 of them can be really good. And now the special thing about the paratroopers, all of them, is that you can forward deploy them pretty much like scouts. So you can rush into important spots on the map and maybe even command zones, because here you get a leader as well. And in addition to forward deploying them, you could even bring them in the helicopter and get them to where you want them super fast. Obviously your enemy will probably have AA, and you can't conquer spawn points any longer, so no shenanigans there, but this can be really helpful. I use them, for example, in helicopters to actually kind of cut off the spawn point a little bit, in the sense that I kind of delayed the reinforcements and killed some of them. So that you can definitely do something with them. Then you get your standard Fallschirmjäger. They come with a Panzerfaust, hardly any range, but very good penetration. You also can obviously bring them in a helicopter. And then you get your normal Jäger. So very interesting unit choices here. Artillery wise, you get the Panzermörser, and I think they should be fixed. The artillery should be fixed now. But there's nothing really special about here, nothing to write home about. In particular, you already know these units and how to use them. In the tank tab you get this super cheap pattern. I don't think it's really worth it because it's just so squishy and doesn't penetrate much. Maybe as a BMP counter, possibly. You get some Leopards, pretty much the standard stuff. And here you get a new vehicle again. It's a Belgian one, and as you can see, it's basically the equivalent to the German anti-tank missile armored vehicle. Really good penetration here, very good range. It outranges most tanks, so play it wisely. Accuracy is pretty poor. It's pretty poor, so you might want to upvet them to get more than 50% accuracy. Maybe bring 2 of them so that you have a chance of one-shotting or killing tanks at sight, at first sight. And then you get your more Leopards. Prices will change eventually, it's been announced. So nice German standard tanks, main battle tanks. Here you get more Belgian options in the Recon tab with the Scorpion. It comes with a tank gun, 10 penetration, so I think it's good, decent range against BMPs. It can fight. Same goes for the Scimitar, but it has an autocannon, so only against light vehicles and infantry. Then you get Fallschirmjäger-Aufklärer, obviously with forward deployment. It's a Recon unit, but you can also bring them in a helicopter, but this helicopter can't fight at all. And it only has mediocre optics, but still, you can get some helicopters here because the helicopter tab is really poor. You get some Belgian scouts as well, the Éclaireur, with submachine guns and shitty anti-tank rockets. Yeah, exceptional stealth though, so you might use them in the cities, but I think more for like a cheap Recon unit with some killing power. Sneak them in. They come in a Spartan. that can fight, so that's nice, but not that great after all. You get some Jäger, and I think the Jäger Aufklärer are pretty cool. Also shitty Panzerfaust, but quite some firepower. You get a Recon helicopter option as well. It can't fight though, so you might potentially as well go for some Recon units that come in a helicopter. It will be good enough, I think. Scouting obviously is worse, but still, I mean, here you get very good scouting for that helicopter. AA is also really poor. You get the Fliegerfaust, which is not a great unit, but you need it, and you need to bring like 2 or 3 to make an effect at one spot. I'm still not sure if it's worth upvetting them, because accuracy is still poor even if you upvet them, but availability goes down quite a bit. And then you get 4 cards of Gepards, which is a really cool unit. Problem is it's an anti-radar gun, so if your enemy comes with Seat planes, you need to be very careful, and otherwise you lose your entire A. You need strong forces so you can take them out, but look at the range. Yeah, it's a tight call, so most likely the enemy plane will get off its Seat rockets, and so you possibly really have to micro them, and when a Seat plane comes in, deactivate the weapon. So maybe put all of your Gepards on one control group, so you can quickly switch off the kind of like prevent the Seat plane from shooting at you. It's also in the 5th Panzer Division, but still I thought I'd cover that a bit, because it's really important, because it's your only proper AA option. Planes, really poor. The known planes, not very good. At least you get one cheap rocket plane with good penetration. I think that's worthwhile taking. In the ATEP there's some new stuff. You get this Gina plane with unguided bombs. Very, very cheap. Decent speed. There are slower planes, and then you get an unguided bomb version and a variant with air-to-ground rockets. That is a bit more expensive. Same availability. And you get a Starfighter, which is also called the Widowmaker because it crashed so often. And air-to-ground missiles, not so good accuracy, so you might not even hit your target at all when you come in. Yeah, but it's very fast. You get some British units. Are they the first British units in the deck? This is your AA plane, and as you can see, it's very, very slow. The Harrier GR3. Good against helicopters, I think, and I've tried it out, because you don't overshoot that quickly, so you have a good chance of getting all your rockets off in a first approach and definitely take out the helicopter. But against planes, it's just so slow, and this shows like the weakness of the deck is definitely the AA. Other than that, with the Fallschirmjäger and forward deployment, that's obviously fantastic. You get this new napalm bomber, also really cool with a shark-like look. Some tornado planes that are also in the 5th Panzer Division. Good stuff. Still in service. And you get a support variant with unguided bombs. You get a cluster tornado. And you get an AT rocket tornado that's working with, I think it's fire and forget. Yeah, fire and forget. You also get the F4F, unguided bombs, another Tornado for air defense. This one is much faster. Interestingly, it's a British variant. So yeah, so don't forget to scroll. Yeah, so this is definitely better against enemy planes simply because of the speed. And then you get a Seat Tornado Seat plane to take out enemy radar units. Yeah, this is the deck. So weakness, I'd say, is definitely the AA, despite the one Tornado. Helicopters are weak. Tank is tab is very decent. Logistics pretty standard. Artillery is okay, actually quite decent. And the strength is definitely the selection of Fallschirmjäger troops, even though it gets a bit expensive towards the end. So you need to build your deck carefully and have a proper game plan, and maybe end the game as quickly as possible with the help of your artillery and your forward deployed Fallschirmjäger. Very interesting division to play, and I will show you my first test deck. Well, it won't be with the first because I've played them already, but the deck I'll be using in the next match in the next video. Also check out the Simulated Divisions League. There's currently a WARNO tournament going on. No, it will be next week, sorry. I think it's 14th of May. Let me quickly double check. I don't want to give you false information. 14th of May, 15th of May, there will be a WARNO tournament, I believe. Or is it today? Yeah, it's next week, 14th and 15th of May. It's a fundraising tournament to support Action Against Hunger, and it's a 16-player Swiss-style tournament in both simulated, in both Steel Division 2 and WARNO. So make sure you check that out. It's the third charity tournament of this style. I will link it in the description of the video. Make sure to check it out, and thanks a lot to Protosszocker for organizing it. Until then, bye for now.